guys, Simply Betta here. You would think that my most popular fish tank ever, like that I've ever made, would be something cool, something like one of my planted tanks or my aquascapes or like my Betta sororities, or maybe my Hobbit aquascape where I hand sculpted decorations so I could make a tank that looked just like Bag End from Lord of the Rings. You would think that would be my most popular fish tank ever, but it's not. No! My most popular planted tank that I've ever made is one that I frantically pieced together with just supplies that I got at a big box store because I was on a road trip to visit my grandma and she decided that she wanted a nice little fish tank for next to her bed. So I just frantically pieced one together from Petco. There's a Petco nearby, which is kind of the only place where I can get everything all at once. And I did my best, and I presented my Gram with a very cute planted tank with a little bed of fish in it. It was pretty, it was low maintenance, had cute little plants and a fish. It just had basic substrate, some basic plants from Petco. I put some crypts in there, some Anubias, an Amazon sword, just because it was like on sale, I think. Some cute little rocks, and I arranged it all nice.
Oh, look at that.
Nice. And she loved it. This is definitely my most popular planted tank I've ever done. I'm not sure why. So my Gram really enjoyed the tank for a couple of years. And then she decided that she wasn't really enjoying it anymore and that she didn't want it anymore, which is something that I was always ready for. So I told my family that the next time somebody comes and road trips to see me and do a family visit, to just bring it with. Just if Gram doesn't want the tank anymore, just bring it with and I'll take it back. And that's exactly what happened. On the next road trip to come see me, my mom drained the tank mostly, put some saran wrap over the top, put it in the back seat and like fastened the seatbelt around it, all safe, and drove it to me. And it returned to me as a forest of crypts. It is my overgrown crazy jungle crypt tank, and I just took it and I put it on my fish rack at the time and I just enjoyed it. My crypt forest. I think it's neat how the crypts have overgrown this tank. I like the lush look. It's neat and the fish love it. So I've been kind of not sure what to do with this tank for a while now, ever since I disassembled my tank rack to start over. And I was struggling to decide what to do with it, struggling to decide until now. In my last video, I made a fish cabinet, like a mini fish room in an IKEA cabinet. It's probably an IKEA hack you've never seen before. Check that video out. And this IKEA fish cabinet is meant for my Betta Api breeding project. Betta Api are a very small, very threatened, very endangered little cute, tiny, wild Betta fish that I have a bunch of and I want to put more effort into working with and getting like a large-scale breeding project going on for these beautiful fish. I set up many tiny little tanks, little breeding tanks for this tiny little fish for the sole purpose, getting them all comfortable and encouraging them to spawn for me. Where I left off on the last video, I had set everything up and I was cycling it just a little bit. I hadn't put any plants yet. I hadn't put any botanicals or like driftwood or anything in the tanks because I decided that I do want plants in my little breeding tanks. And this might be a really great way for me to disassemble my Gram's tank and reuse the plants and give them like a new purpose. I'm gonna replant these beautiful crypts into the new Api breeding setup. I'm sure my little Api will really enjoy having that planty cover in the tank. They're gonna do well in the soft water setup that I have going on because they're a root feeder. And I think my Gram will appreciate how I've repurposed her plants. Isn't it so cute? It's almost a shame to break it down because I love all the crypts, but sometimes you just have to take a perfectly fine tank and repurpose everything. I do think it's a worthwhile cause. It's really pretty. Time to actually do something about all these crypts. It's time to remove some beautiful plants. I think there's gonna be 25 crypt Wenti and 20 crypt parva. That's just a guess. I have no idea. I'm just gonna go use my hands and really gently try to remove the crypts from the soil without disturbing their roots too much. The water is probably gonna get so gross because I'm stirring up all the mulm at the bottom. result. Here's my big bowl of crypts. Now I get to go count them. So I ended up with one unknown Anubius, bunch of crypt parva. Look at that. Wow, that's beautiful. 32 beautiful little crypt parva. Oh my God, this is massive. Look at this. 47. Oh my gosh, 47. Wow, that's amazing. This is what a bowl full of crypts looks like. Last night when I was pulling all the crypts out of that tank, I found that my gram put a little wizard in there. See my little wizard? He used to have a crystal ball, but I think maybe the glue came undone and the crystal ball has been lost. I think he'll go back in. I'm getting plants from one other place. I have this beautiful plastic tub right here, which is where I was keeping 2 wild-caught females, my original 2 females that I started with. They lived in this tub. It's probably about 5 gallons. There's no one in here anymore. So I'm gonna take all these floating plants out. I'm gonna use them in the new tanks. There's also some, let's see, some pearlweed. I see some miscellaneous plants in here I'm gonna use. Let's get these plants in the Oppie cabinet. As you can see, it's looking a little bare. Those are just fake plants and totally bare down here. There's only fish in these ones with the fake plants. I haven't divided them up yet because I was gonna give them a little bit more time to cycle. Got my tongs. I'll start with these ones. This is probably a bad day to wear long sleeves. I have to put my child's step stool down. Here's my big bowl of crypts and frog bit and miscellaneous. Let me just get a big handful. When's the next time I'm gonna be able to hold like 50 cryptwenti? That is substantial. I'm cutting to hours later. What I had to spend quite a while doing was correctly pairing up some Betta Oppie. So on the top 8 tanks, every tank has a pair, a male-female pair. And then I have a bunch of extra males who are scattered on the bottom because females are my limiting factor right now. But I like how it turned out. I do have a bunch of little edits to make on this project. Like the acrylic lids aren't working very well. They're warping slightly, which I didn't know acrylic did that. I'm a big noob when it comes to acrylic. So I learned my lesson, just make glass lids. I got all my crypts put in there. I think my gram will be really happy with how this turned out. All the crypts. Oh gosh, what was the number again? I had like almost 50 cryptwenti and like 40 parva. So I'm really happy with that. I love lots of plants. Although I realize I might have to increase my lighting now. To make sure that they can support the plants. But I'll put that on the list of all the things I still have to do and correct on this big experiment right here, which will probably be my next video on this topic, on the Oppie cabinet topic, will be about the little things that I fix to make it more efficient, to make it run a little bit better, to tidy it up and be done, and hopefully see some spawning activity by then. Wouldn't that be nice? I mentioned this on my last couple of videos. If you're interested in Betta Oppie, hopefully I'll be having some next spring or early summer or so. I have a link on my website down below. Just click it and put in your email address, and I'm actually gathering a newsletter together so I can send an email out to whoever's interested in Betta Oppie when I start to have some available. Thanks for watching. I hope I get some results out of this project. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.